Hi, I'm not going to muck around today. Everything that you're going to see in today's video is out there in public domain. Out there for everybody to see right now. And if you think the comic book industry's learned anything from how fragile it is and how it can easily fall apart, I'll tell you this for nothing. They've not learnt a thing. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Oh my god, I was just about to go to bed last night. I was doing a little bit of painting on the old Warhammer stuff, and live stream started with EVS and Richard C. Mayer. And it'd only been going for 9 minutes, and I was like, oh, I'm going to start watching. And it's like, I don't know, 1 a.m. my time. So I start watching, and it gets really interesting, particularly a segment which I want to discuss with you. And this segment, like I said, is completely out there in the public domain. Nothing here is hidden in chat rooms or anything like that. It's all open on guess which site? Yep, Twitter. And we're going to talk about 3 people who are calling for the cancellation of Sean Gordon Murphy again. Why? I'll tell you why. Because Sean Gordon Murphy doesn't do exactly what they want him to do. He's not being a good little bitch. He's actually having independent thought. And that, folks, no, is not allowed, because that is considered wrongthink. But let's just get into this. Joe Glass is the first guy. This person is an unmitigated coward. And all 3 people are members of the comic book industry, comic book pros. They're talentless. They're talentless people. Because when we go into all of this, folks, with all the victimization they will claim, it's got nothing to do with that. Joe's gay, Mags is trans, Kwanzaa's black. It's got nothing to do with that whatsoever. Do you know what it's really got to do with? It's got to do with control and power. And when they feel that their control and power has slipped away from somebody, it's cancellation time! If I was Sean Gordon Murphy, and I know Sean's never going to see this video, okay? But if I was Sean Gordon Murphy, Sean, DC needs you more than you need DC. All day, every day, 24/7, 365. Tell these people to off. These people are the reason why the industry is in the state that it's in. Because they get people to bow down to them when they themselves have little to no talent whatsoever. Sean Gordon Murphy is he's got a proven record. Proven record in quality, proven record in sales. Mags, who we're going to discuss, she can't even sell 1,000. 1,000 of her book can't even sell. 791. And that, folks, is shipped. That's shipped. Not even sales. So sales, probably 3 to 400. So there's another 3 to 400 rotting away on shelves somewhere. Oh, where? Oh, in the comic book shops that are going out of business. Because there are no returns. So it's the comic book shops that have to take the brunt, and that's why they've been pancaking and dominoing for years and years now to prop up shite like this. Cancel Sean Gordon Murphy. Shut up. So, Joe decides to start this off on public Twitter. So big name comic creator is launching his Indiegogo campaign to attract the Comicsgate masses this week, huh? By the way, I don't know how long this video is going to go on for. It's going to go on for as long as it goes on for. As long as I've got something to say, I'll say it. So be warned. Do apologise in advance. So he's trying to be all cryptic-like to start with, but we know it's this. We know immediately anyway he's talking about this. Sean Gordon Murphy, announces the Plot Holes. That's the name of his team-up book. It's creator-owned in crowdfunding. And this is going to release, I believe, on Indiegogo on the 15th of May. So just about 5 days' time. Is that going to be on Friday? Yeah, Friday the 15th of May. That's when I think it is. And it goes into, this article goes into, this is something he's had for a while now. That's the tweet that he put out. Are you ready? Something for cool next week? Indiegogo, all new story. Lots of kick-ass art. Let's do this. Plot holes. I'm not wild about the name, but, you know, if the story kind of fits and it makes sense, okay, fair enough, you know. But I've been a big fan of Sean Gordon Murphy since I picked up his Batman White Knight. Batman White Knight was incredible. There was a legit part, I think in part 7 of 8 or whatever it was. I think in the penultimate part, a legit panel which had me really emotional. Just because of how well it was done. His artwork is great. His writing for White Knight was spectacular. It was wonderful. And I've got the sequel, Curse of the White Knight. I've got part 8. The final part is actually shipping this week for us. Physical copy. But I don't read all of miniseries in parts. I have to wait for the whole thing to arrive before I read them. I can't deal with cliffhangers no more. So when it comes, I can finally sit down and read the sequel. And I have both the regular cover and the variant covers because they're both excellent. Supporting this guy. Why? Because this guy produces quality work. Now, he came out with a really bad video on his channel announcing his Indiegogo. He had it, he did a Druckmann and had it in portrait. Landscape! Had it in portrait and he was talking about people in the industry said, oh, it's not a good look. That's in itself a tell. It's not a good look to release a crowdfunded campaign right now. To make money right now, not a good look. If anybody tells you that not to make money in your career is not a good look, do not listen to them. Do not listen to them. Right now, more than ever, people are desperate for good quality entertainment. Whether it's comics, whether it's miniseries on TV, whether or not it's movies that are going direct onto digital platforms, people need entertainment. We're cooped up, we're locked up. We want things to look forward to read and to watch. Or to listen to in podcasts. I'm just a bloke. I was going to say some guy, but I don't want to step on just some guy's stuff. I'm just a bloke. And I shout at clouds. And I've had a ton of people, when I do live streams and stuff, just say, hey, thanks, Az. Thanks, Az, for coming on stream for a couple of hours and painting some plastic crack for us. And chatting. Or bagging and boarding comics. And we're bagging and boarding with you, or we're just listening to the conversation that's going on, whether it's you on your own, or whether it's Gary from Nerdrotic who comes on, who's coming back on Tuesday. Thank you for entertaining us. And it's just like, you know, I'm just a bloke. I'm just a bloke trying to do something. It aids me because it helps my channel. And if you guys are feeling that you're getting something out of it, I'm chuffed. I'll keep on doing it. It's called listening to your audience. But remember, customer service is an alt-right dog whistle, according to these freaks. Oh, did you say customer service? Oh, that's got to be a dog whistle. Surely that's got to be an alt-right dog whistle. Looking after your customers, not treating them like bitches, not swearing at them and calling them ists and phobes and isms on Twitter all day long. Well, that's just got to be a fucking dog whistle. Crazies. Crazies. And a few years ago, do you know something? A lot of people, a lot of us, including myself, I bitched out. I've admitted to it. You get called an istophobe and an ism, and I just backed away. Hey, I'm not that. I'm backed away. I can't be part of this Comicscape malarkey. I can't be listening to these streams. I don't want to get branded like this. I don't want to be targeted for cancellation by these people. I'm just a regular bloke. I just buy comics and geeky stuff and statues and whatnot. I just love my Star Trek and my Batman and my Superman and my Batgirl and my Huntress and my Catwoman and my Star Wars and whatever it may be, The Prisoner. I don't need this. And you back away. You back away because you're like, I'm not one of these. But that's the whole point. It's not about you being one of them. It's about controlling you. It's about controlling you and having power over you. And recently, as you're probably aware, I said, fuck it. I know that I'm not an ist-a-phobe and an ism. I'm not afraid to challenge people whatsoever. If I don't agree, or I think it's a good thing that we can discuss. Why do you feel this way? Let's have a talk about it. Why? Because there's nothing wrong with conversation. Conversation's good. But no, be a good little boy and shut up. Power and control. And so I'm happy to speak out. Come at me, cancel me. You've got nothing. You got no weapons. Nothing. Had to get that out of my system, sorry. So sick of this. And I'm so rattled up and angry, right? Because who are they targeting? They're targeting the people with fucking talent. To make up for the lack of theirs. That's what they're doing. Because if they have the talented people on their side, then they get to stay in the club, they get to stay in the bitch club and do the bitch things and then write their bitch comics, which are a big F you to the customers, while the industry burns down. I know I'm doing a lot of shouting. The name must be like, oh God, he's making another video. YouTubers. But that's what it's about. Power and control. I told you, this is going to be done when it's done. I've got shit to say. Shit to say about these fucking morons. It amazes me that people still don't know who this guy is. It's the same guy flirting with comics hate. Can't put Comicsgate because that'll give it traction on Twitter. So we got to change it slightly because we're 5-year-old children. Every time. This is a grown man. I mean, doesn't look like it, I know. But this is a grown man. This is utterly pathetic. I'm going to try and call somebody out for cancellation, but I'm going to be coy about who it is because I'm a little bitch. With no spine, no backbone. But I'm putting it out in the public domain for all to see. So somebody else can come up and say, oh, Sean Gordon Murphy. Enter Kwanzaa. Another talentless hack Not just talentless, but a massive racist as well. Hates white people. Happily use them, but hates them. I'm blocked by Kwanzaa. I've never spoken to him, ever. Never had any dealings with him, ever. I likely got caught up in one of the block bombs because I dared to follow somebody they disagree with. And of course, when you're on Twitter, you gotta keep the echo chamber nice and echoey. He's been telling you who he is if you just keep your eyes peeled. What a fucking child. So Kwanzaa comes in. Sean Gordon Murphy pushes plausible deniability. But he knows Tenaple is a bigot. He's talking about Doug Tenaple now. Indiegogo is comics taint refuge. Of course, again, you can't say Comicsgate because then he'll give it traction on Twitter. So you gotta twist it up like the little babies they are. And his actions are dog whistles to them. What action is that? The action of, hi guys, I've created my own comic. I've created my own characters. It's a completely fresh, original piece of work. And I want to put it out in crowdfunding and hope that you support it. That's a dog whistle. You're right, Kwanzaa. It is a fucking dog whistle. For customers, you fucking idiot! It's a dog whistle for comic book collectors who might want to buy a comic. Something, darling, you have no idea about because you can't sell anything but shit. Can you tell I'm slightly wound up by all of this? And I'm slightly wound up, well, I mean, I've given plenty of reasons why I'm slightly wound up for this. But I fucking love comics. You've seen my boxes and boxes over there. Pretty much all full. I think there's only one box that isn't full. And it's going to get there very quickly, as you can see from the comics that are on the top. I love comics. I've been collecting for 28 years. And it once upon a time used to be about picking up a comic, reading a comic, enjoying a comic, and then waiting for the next comic. Now, no, we have these fucking idiots. We'll get on to you in a minute, Mags, don't worry. These absolute disgusting pieces of filth who are just here to tear it all down. They don't like the industry. They don't like the customers. They hate it. It's a platform for them to spew hatred, to spew bigotry of their own, because that's who they truly are. And that's another thing why they're so self-loathing. And they're winning. They're winning in as much as the industry is teetering on the precipice of destruction. The mainstream industry. Not, by the way, the crowdfunding industry, which is thriving. And what's the difference between mainstream and crowdfunding? Is it because one's full of the right people and one's on the wrong side of history? No. One are creating stuff that hate you. And the other is creating stuff that you will like and purchase. Creating quality content, it's an alt-right dog whistle. Creating content that you might actually like and enjoy and have some fun with, it's an alt-right dog whistle. Crazy, crazy people. Let's get back to this moron. Now, Doug Tenaple, I don't know the ins and outs of this. I'll tell you what I do know, because I'm not sitting on the fence. I'll tell you what I do know. From what I can ascertain, Doug Tenaple does not believe in same-sex marriage. I personally disagree with that stance. I don't know if it goes any further than that. I know that Doug and Comicsgate are no longer aligned. Doug's on his own, doing his own thing. It's not something I've particularly looked into. Why? Because that's not why I pick up independent comics. The reason why I pick up crowdfunded comics is because I like the look of the comic. But I believe everybody, a man and a man, a woman and a woman, a man and a woman, should all have the same rights of marriage, etc. All of them. But that's just me. So they want to bring Tenaple because Doug Tenaple and Sean Gordon Murphy are friends. Just like Sean Gordon Murphy and Gail Simone are friends. Sean says that he likes Gail. He picks and chooses his friends. He doesn't use certain aspects of their life against him or her. Whether or not you agree or disagree. Now, if I had a friend and they had the same philosophy, I'd be disappointed. I would be disappointed. But if that was their only, if that was their only belief, because Doug's a religious guy, I believe, I'm not religious. So maybe there are always circumstances why you have certain, you go to the Bible and you look in the Bible and you see this, that, and the other. But I don't want this to turn into a theological discussion, because this is a discussion about comics. I could disagree with somebody and still like them. Indiegogo is comics taint refuge, and his actions are dog whistles to them. Because, of course, there are two major crowdfunding platforms right now, Indiegogo and Kickstarter. And Kickstarter, as we know, are massive lefty progressives. And they kicked off a bunch of people from Kickstarter because, wrong think, I think our political values don't align, and so you're out. Meanwhile, by the way, Kickstarter are in massive trouble of going under. Massive trouble right now, Kickstarter. Indiegogo? Not so much. Kickstarter, they are laying people off. Just after they unionized, we're going to need to lay all of you off. So, they play in the game. Indiegogo, it's your alt-right dog whistle. Kickstarter, they're on the right side of history. Babies. And because of that, he knows they'll buy anything to own the SJWs. Even a drawn-together homage. No. That's actually not true. I won't part with my money to own an SJW. I've got better things to do with my money. No, I'll take that back. I've got worse things to do with my money. I can spend it on more comics. I can spend it on some plastic cracks, some paint brushes, some shopping, some frivolous stuff which I don't need. But I won't make a concerted effort to purchase something purely because it's going to own some SJWs. I know that's your mentality and that's your reason and rationale of thought, but it's dumb. People don't buy your stuff, Kwanzaa, because it's shit and racist. That's why. So you can get all the industry accolades you want and all the pats on the back. You can't sell comics for shit because they're trash. Meanwhile, I've made 6 bloody pages worth of purchases of comics on Indiegogo, and they're comics that I want to read. Not because they're going to own anybody, because they look different, or they look interesting, or they look fun, or they remind me of how comics used to be in the 90s. But I have not made a single solitary purchase to own the SJWs. I've done it on the basis of supporting the creator, because I like the creator, I like their work, I like their talent. happily backed things like Cyberfrog, happily backed things like Black Flag with Dan Frager. Dan Frager's a lovely guy. Had him on my show. Spoke for 2 or 3 hours or so. Bloody lovely guy. Awesome. Great conversation. I can't want to support that guy enough. Ethan, he's a barrel of laughs. You might disagree with him on certain things. He certainly pushes it to the limit. He does it on purpose. Of course we know he does it on purpose. Why? Because he knows it's entertaining and it's fun. And he's a barrel of fun. And he was a great guy to speak with as well. Really interesting conversation. And his talent, Frager, Van Sciver's talent, they are amazing. They're not average. They're not above average. They are amazing. And then I've picked up a ton of other stuff as well. Malin, Maya, other creators I wouldn't have thought of, but thanks to the exposure that they got, I got to look at their work and say, hey, yeah, I'd like to pick this up. I'd like to give this a go. I'd like to see what it's all about. I wouldn't waste money to own you. I don't have to own you. You own yourselves with your own pathetic crap. You own yourselves. We don't even have to do it. So we can free up our money to spend it on stuff that we actually want. I had to look to see if the microphone was on. I had a panic attack. I've been waffling for 26 minutes. And the microphone was potentially off. Look at it. Look at the way he says a team book as well. Even a drawn together homage. Oh, fuck off, Kwanzaa. So enter Mags. Talentless Mags. Charity case Mags. And Mags exposes everything now. Exposes it all, folks. He absolutely knows. He and I had a long conversation ages ago about this in his DMs. Oh, let's just get that out there. Yeah, I spoke to him. I cracked the whip. I got him in line. I sussed him out to see if he would be okay to fit in with our little clique. If he could be controlled. I know people have been saying shit about him for a long time. Oh, no, they haven't. No, they haven't. Little bitches like you and your clique of bitches might be saying it in your own little private chat rooms. Why? Because he actually chooses who he speaks to. And you don't like that, so you throw some shade. But I don't think there's anything he's going to lose any sleep over. Hey, Az, what? Mag said something horrible about you. Oh, well, life goes on. Don't care. You have no relation on my life. You have no effect on my life whatsoever. You're meaningless. Meaningless. And that's probably how he feels. Not trying to talk for Sean Gordon Murphy, but it probably is. But he was always supportive and kind with me because he comes across as a very nice guy in reality. He comes across as somebody who doesn't want to bicker and fight like a 5-year-old child on Twitter. He's got better shit to do with his time, like create and draw and write and play with his cars and his hobbies that are off the internet. Because he's a nice guy. He comes across as a nice guy. That's probably why he was nice and kind and supportive with you. And I fell for his defences over and over again. Oh, what a victim. Victim time! The person I couldn't control, the person who I wanted to control and I thought I was controlling, actually has some independent thought. I am victim. Hear me whimper. But when he claimed he had no idea about Doug this time, after he already told me in private, let's just say our private conversations in public now, he had cut off his professional relationship with Tenaple as a result of our discussions. Oh, hey, I'm Mags, and I'm telling you what to do, Sean. I'm telling you how to behave and live your life. Fuck off, Mags. You're nothing. You can't sell shit. You got no talent. And the worst thing is, for you, you know it. You know it. I was so eager to believe this big, famous comics guy was my friend that I let shit slide, gave the benefit of the doubt. You are exposing yourself, Mags. You're exposing yourself. I thought that I could control this big, famous comic book guy, that I didn't pay all my bitch attention to him. But then when I realized he had independent thought, oh no. Please, by the way, do not contact any of these people. They are professional victims. They will only use it to be victim, to play victim. I stress that again. I defended him over and over again, making him out to be some sort of monster. Oh God, this is pathetic. This is beyond pathetic. Possibly, certainly within the top 5, probably the top 3 best talents in the industry right now. Mags had the worst selling book of the month a month or 2 ago. Worst selling out of everyone. 700 and something or whatever it was. Rock bottom. Meanwhile, Sean Gordon Murphy. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at some Batman White Knight. Oh, that's Curse of the White Knight. Coming in at 17th with 52,985. Pretty much 53,000 to Mags's. How many did she sell? 400 and something when she was rock bottom. Oh, don't worry, he's only doing... Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. These people are nuts. Nuts. Yeah, oh, Joe's back. Brave Joe's back now that he's got a skirt to hide behind. Yeah, it was the last time claiming he didn't know about Doug. The first thing I thought was bullshit. Not just because everyone let him know last time, but because he'd specifically had a talk with you. Oh, you're exposing yourself, Joe. You're exposing yourself. Sean had to get in line. I had to put him in line. The horrible 12 nasty, scummy people on Twitter who kick up a stink in the comic book industry, they need to give you their seal of approval, Sean. If you are to act within the mainstream comic book industry, and you wonder why it's burning down. I realised that it was just a ploy. I'm sorry he used you. Oh, mega manipulative Sean Gordon Murphy. Oh, Machiavellian Sean Gordon Murphy. Jesus Christ. This is puerile. This is actually puerile. This is adult children with the mental age of a 6-year-old, who are probably mentally ill as well, by the way, having a cry in the playground on Twitter for all to see. I hate Jane. Shh, she can hear us. She can hear us. I hate Jane. She's a poopy pants. Shh, shh. Did she hear us? Did she look over? Did she look over? Huh? Yeah, she looked over, didn't she? You're pathetic. You're utterly pathetic. Me too. I'm really angry and really hurt. Victim! Look, by the way, can we just see? 3 likes, 12 likes, 12 likes, 12 angry people on Twitter. 15 likes, 18 likes, 21 likes, 50 likes. When was this? 17, 18 hours ago. Right. In the podcast, Ethan Van Sciver said, "Hey, look, just look at the actual response they're getting. Nobody gives a shit. These people are nobodies. They're nobodies. They're nothings." And he said, "I could put out, I like trees, they are pretty." And he said, "I could get more likes than these guys." So I thought to myself, well, you're Ethan Van Sciver. So you put something like that out, yeah, people are going to like it. You'll probably get a couple of hundred likes. Me? I'm just a guy that shouts at clouds on the internet with a webcam and a microphone. What if I was to do it? So I went onto Twitter at 1:40 a.m. and I just put, "I like trees, they are pretty." And 14 hours later, as recording this or so, 14 hours later, 127 likes. And I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. These are meant to be industry professionals. Award-winning industry professionals. Nobody gives a shit about you. Because you're children. It's hard for people like us. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. It's hard for victims like us who want to cancel people on Twitter in the open public forum. Oh, sorry, that's not what you wrote. You wrote, it's hard for people like us who want to see the good in people and give people the benefit of the doubt. Joe, you want to see the good in people? You're on a public forum trying to cancel somebody. You're not good, Joe. You're rotten on the inside. You're rotten to the core. Unfortunately, there are those out there who will take advantage of us for it. Murphy showed his true colours. That being said, it's not worth losing that hope in people. I try not to lose my hope in people. I truly do. I mean, you idiots are beyond saving, so I don't give a toss about you guys. But I truly hope that Sean understands the true power that he has right now. And the true power is the industry needs him more than he needs the industry. And if your DC Comics want to rehire Mags, I don't think Joe gets any work. I know Kwanzaa gets no mainstream work. Then if I was Sean, but you know, this is it. This is the beauty, right? I was going to say, if I was Sean, I'd come onto Twitter and tell him, fuck off. Oi, Mags, Joe, Kwanzaa, fuck off. Who the fuck are you to talk to me like that? Show me your pedigree. Show me your sales. But do you know why Sean won't do that? Because he's a nice guy. Because he's a genuine, nice guy. And he doesn't need that. He's got other shit to worry about. He's got his wife. He's got his cars. He's got his life. His lovely house. He's got his work. He doesn't want to spend his time on Twitter arguing with fucking morons. And they are trying to cancel him in open public. Because they can't control him. He didn't go to the set narrative that they had for him. Kwanzaa chips in once again. Yep, to all this. It's also a sad reflection of margins in comics being so thin for freelancers that even a big name... No, he's a big name, Kwanzaa. He's a big name. Nobody knows who you are. He's a big name. A legitimate big name because of the quality of his work and the pedigree of his sales. We'll see a hack raking in cash, that's EVS, and get dollar signs in their eyes. Heaven forbid Heaven forbid Sean Gordon Murphy wants to actually make some money off his great talent of writing and drawing. Heaven forbid. What was it Heather Antos said recently? Oh, to think that we came in the comic book industry to make money. If you didn't come into the comic book industry to make money, get the fuck out. There's nothing wrong with making money based off your talent. There's nothing wrong if you can provide a service to people that they want, a comic that they like, characters that they can relate to, that they can enjoy, that they can aspire to use that to make yourself a good chunk of cheddar. I don't have that talent, I don't have that talent. I can't draw. I've just got a fucking mouth. And I try to use that to give myself some sort of life. I use what I have to do what I can. This is an industry that's meant to be making bloody money, and that's why it's burning to the ground because of these ideologue wankers that you will continue to employ to not sell comics. The industry, folks, I'm not even going to go into the other stuff. It's so pathetic. And again, for the third time, please do not contact any of these people whatsoever. I don't condone it. I don't endorse it one bit. They will only use it as another, oh my God, I'm a victim. I'm simply showing you what the mainstream industry has been like and continues to be like. And in their darkest hour, for God knows, 50, 60 years, their darkest hour, we got little bitch boys on Twitter talking about cancelling one of the brightest lights the mainstream industry has to date because they can't control him. Grow up! I'm done.